Title: My parents told me Grandma was in the hospital, so I'd skip the family cruise. She needs you, they insisted. At the dock, my sister posted photos with them all on board. Best vacation ever when they came back. Grandma's not the one who is sick. It started with a phone call. "Claire," Mom said, voice trembling just enough to feel real. "Grandma's not doing well." I was halfway through packing for our family cruise. It was the first vacation I'd been able to join in 3 years. College, residency, loans. I had finally cleared enough space in my schedule and bank account to say yes. But now, suddenly, "She's in the hospital," Mom continued. "Your dad and I think you should stay behind. She needs someone." My heart sank. Is it that serious? "She's stable, but fragile, confused. She keeps asking for you." My chest tightened. I adored Grandma. She was the only one who ever made me feel truly seen in a family that preferred to sideline me. Without hesitation, I replied, "Of course, just send me the hospital details." I canceled my flight. I cried that night, not because I missed the cruise, but because I was afraid I wouldn't have much time left with the one person who still felt like home. The next morning, I took a bus across town and walked into her care facility, my heart pounding. She was in her room, knitting, healthy, alert, bright-eyed. "Claire," she beamed, "what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be on that cruise with the rest of them?" I stood in the doorway, confused. "What do you mean?" "They said you were in the hospital." She looked genuinely alarmed. "Hospital? I haven't been to a hospital in months." My breath left my body in a slow, cold wave. That same afternoon, my sister posted a photo. It was all of them. Mom, Dad, my sister Melanie, and even Aunt Kelsey, grinning on the upper deck of the ship, cocktails in hand, all in matching t-shirts. "Family Cruise 2024. Best vacation ever." They were docked. The same exact dock they'd begged me not to go near. They had lied. They had planned the whole thing without me. And the worst part? They used Grandma as the excuse. I didn't cry this time. I just stared at the screen, feeling something calcify in my chest. A pressure I didn't recognize before, but now understood intimately. This wasn't disappointment. This was clarity. They didn't just exclude me. They manipulated me. So I sat quietly. I fed Grandma lunch. I kissed her on the forehead, and I began planning. They thought they'd fooled me. They thought I'd get over it. But what was coming? They'd never see it coming. Photos don't lie, but families do. I didn't message them. Not a single word. I watched the cruise unfold in real time through my sister's Instagram. Day 1, buffet shots and poolside drinks. Day 2, snorkeling in Cozumel. Day 3, formal night selfies with captions like, "Blessed to have this family." I saved every single photo, every story, every smug caption. I didn't react. But my silence, that was intentional. Let them think I was licking my wounds. Let them think I was too soft to fight back. They forgot who they raised. When they returned a week later, I was already 2 steps ahead. I made sure Grandma knew exactly what had happened. Not to poison her mind, just to tell the truth. She was quiet at first, then furious. "They used me? To keep you out of a family trip." I nodded. "I didn't want to upset you." Her hands trembled as she poured tea. "Oh, honey, they've upset me for the last time." What they didn't realize was this. Grandma owned things. Property, stocks, a lake house none of them ever visited. They thought her assets were frozen until her will was read. What they didn't know. I had power of attorney, signed 3 years ago, during one of the few moments they weren't paying attention. "Claire is the only one who shows up," Grandma had said. Now that power was going to become my shield and their reckoning. The first move was small. I revoked access to the lake house. My parents had planned a late summer birthday party for my dad there. Sent out invites. Booked a local chef. When they arrived 2 weeks later, the locks were changed. A discreet note taped to the door. This property is under restricted use. Please contact Claire Morgan for access. They called me 5 times that day. I didn't answer. Grandma did, though. You lied to Claire, she told my mother. Now deal with the consequences. Click. They tried to downplay it. Okay, it was just a little lie, my sister texted. We didn't think it would hurt you this much. I didn't respond, because it wasn't the lie that hurt. It was the choice, the deliberate erasure of me from the memory of that trip. But they were about to learn. When you erase someone long enough, they stop trying to belong and start making moves of their own. The daughter they forgot holds the pen. By July, my name wasn't just on Grandma's power of attorney. It was on her checking account, her investment portfolio, and most importantly, her estate documents. My parents had no idea that just before the cruise, Grandma had updated her will. And in that update, to the only one who has shown up when it mattered, I leave control. That control included the family's second property, a 2-bedroom condo my parents had been secretly renting out for years as passive income. They were funneling the rental payments into their own account, without Grandma's permission. I knew. She didn't. Until I showed her. She nearly dropped her teacup. They've been using my property and pocketing the money. Yep. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Then she opened the drawer where she kept her stationery. Send the renters a new contract, she said. Payments go to the estate from now on. I drafted it that evening. By the weekend, my parents got a call from the renters, confused about where to send August's payment. My mother emailed me, frantic. What are you doing? That's our income. I replied with one line. It never was. The next blow came quietly, wrapped in floral stationery. Grandma mailed out new invitations for her 80th birthday dinner. A formal gathering. Small. Personal. Hosted at a beautiful garden venue she loved. She asked me to help plan it. We made the guest list together. She read the names aloud. Melanie, my sister, wasn't on it. Neither was Mom. Or Dad. When she got to the end, she looked up and said, if they couldn't make space for you on one cruise, they can make space outside this table. The RSVPs rolled in. Old friends, neighbors, a few cousins, even Grandma's bridge partner Ruth. The ones who mattered came. My parents found out through Facebook when one of Grandma's friends posted a photo of the long table, the cake, the laughter. I was beside Grandma in every shot. 4 generations of kindness, the caption read. We celebrate those who stay loyal when it counts. That same day, I received a message from Melanie. You've turned her against us. You're manipulative. She's old and confused and doesn't mean it. I didn't answer. Grandma did. Melanie, I've never thought more clearly in my life. And if you want to understand betrayal, maybe look in a mirror. By the end of summer, I had closed every door they once assumed would stay open forever. The rental income was rerouted. The lake house remained locked. Their names were struck from every document I had the authority to edit. And the worst part for them? I never once raised my voice. I just made sure that when they came back, they'd find a version of me they never prepared for. The collapse begins. By fall, my parents were unraveling. The rental income they'd depended on was gone. The lake house, still frozen. Their names removed from Grandma's estate documents, and without that future fallback, they began to panic. I knew from quiet whispers in the family. My cousin Emma texted me. Your mom said they had to cancel their vacation this year. Something about Claire freezing the money. What's going on? I didn't reply. I just watched from a distance as the facade they worked so hard to maintain. Perfect family, stable finances, golden child Melanie, began to crumble. The worst of it came at the community fundraiser. Grandma had donated every year to a local children's hospital. This year, she doubled her contribution and asked me to attend in her place. I wore a navy dress, clean lines, quiet power. The MC announced her name, then mine, representing the Green family legacy and continuing a tradition of service. Please welcome Claire Morgan. The room applauded. I gave a short speech. Nothing dramatic, just gratitude, a tribute to my grandmother's generosity. My parents were in the back row, uninvited, unacknowledged. After the event, someone from the hospital staff asked them, "Are you Claire's aunt and uncle?" My mother's face cracked. She smiled through it. "No, we're her parents." "Oh," the woman replied flatly. "I didn't realize." They tried to corner me in the parking lot. "Claire, this is ridiculous," my dad hissed. "You're being vindictive." I looked at him, calm as ever. "You left me behind for a vacation, lied about Grandma, used her to manipulate me. Now you're surprised I left you behind too." "We said we were sorry." "No," I said. "You said I was overreacting." Then I got in my car and drove off. That night, I received an email from Melanie. Subject: "You made your point. So what now? You cut us out forever? For one trip? You're the one tearing this family apart." I stared at the message, then typed my reply. Number: "You did that the moment you treated me like a burden instead of a sister. I'm not tearing this family apart. I'm just making sure you're not allowed to fake putting it back together without me." They stopped trying after that, because the truth had finally sunk in. The girl they tricked into staying home, she was the one who held the family together, and now that she was gone, there was no one left to clean up the mess. The legacy you never had. The moment I knew I was truly done wasn't when they lied. It was when they expected to be forgiven, without ever apologizing. So I stopped waiting for remorse and started finalizing everything. Grandma and I sat at her dining room table, old documents spread out like a war map. She wore her glasses low on her nose and tapped each form with her favorite pen. "If I'm not here tomorrow," she said, "I need to know this doesn't go to people who see me as an account number." I nodded. It won't. We rewrote her will, reallocated every asset. She signed, sealed, and submitted everything with calm, steady hands. And just like that, the condo was now slated for public donation after her death. The lake house offered to the scholarship fund I helped build. The personal savings placed in a protective trust with Grandma's note attached. For Claire, who showed up even when we gave her every reason not to. That winter, I received an email from the family's old estate planner, short and confused. "Please confirm you're authorizing the new estate directive." We were surprised to see all prior secondary beneficiaries removed. I responded with a PDF of Grandma's signature and a line that read, "Per the current documents, the estate is now fully compliant. Thank you. No fanfare, no calls, no confrontation, just a clean removal." They didn't find out until Grandma made her wishes public during a family holiday dinner they weren't invited to. She hosted it for the remaining family that had stayed kind. She stood, raised her glass, and said, "I've chosen to leave my legacy to the one who loved me with nothing expected in return. This family taught me who matters most, and who never deserved a seat at this table in the first place." Someone filmed it. It went up on Facebook, they saw it. And this time, they didn't call, because they knew. They had left me behind on a cruise. They took pictures, toasted their lies, laughed at what they thought they got away with. Now, they were watching a legacy sail forward, without them. When silence becomes the statement. Spring came early the following year. Grandma and I were sitting in the sunroom, a light breeze slipping through the screens, soft jazz playing from her old stereo. She was sipping her tea, and I was reviewing grant applications for our newly renamed foundation, the Clara Morgan Resilience Fund, named after her, built by me, created not from wealth or legacy, but from pain that was turned into purpose. My parents hadn't called in months. Neither had Melanie. Their silence used to ache. Now, it felt like peace. I still had the screenshots from the cruise. Still remembered every excuse, every "she needs you," every smug photo caption they thought I'd never see. I didn't delete any of it, not out of bitterness, but to remember what I survived, to remember who I became, to remember how far gone they were the moment they chose a vacation over truth. That summer, the Foundation's scholarship recipients sent in thank you videos. One girl cried. A boy from rural Nebraska said the award saved his career. A third ended her video with, "Thank you for seeing someone like me." And that's when it really sank in. The people who used to erase me, I'd replaced them with people who truly mattered. One of my last messages to my family had been short. "You lied. You excluded me. You used someone I love. I'm not coming back from that." And I meant it. I didn't need revenge that screamed. I needed distance that never faded. They left me home to take selfies at sea. Now, they were ghosts in the life they thought I'd never live without them. And I was sailing just fine, without ever needing to look back. Some wounds don't heal. They harden and become armor. And sometimes the deepest justice is simply this. You don't get to say my name anymore. You are not alone. And you are so much stronger than you think. Tap that subscribe button to join Veiled Revenge, where we share tales that heal, inspire, and remind you that even the deepest heartbreak can lead to the most beautiful new beginning. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that revenge isn't always about getting even. Sometimes, it's just about getting better.